Kandy Cares presents Abandoned Pregnant, the podcast show with Kandy Delore. Hey ladies, welcome to the Abandoned Pregnant podcast with me, Kandy Delore. I hope you're all doing good. So my special guest for today is Valerie from Michigan in the USA, who is currently 12 weeks into her pregnancy, and she's going to share her experience of being abandoned pregnant. Hi Valerie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm doing okay.
Great. Okay, so take us to the beginning of your story, please.
Sure. So I met the father of my child back in July. We had gone to like a birthday party of some friends that we knew, and I met him there. He was this really nice guy. He's from like an hour away from where I live, and I thought he was like super good looking. He was very nice and sweet. He was, I thought he had like morals and like a good character. And so we kind of like hit it off that weekend pretty well. And we actually ended up spending this whole weekend up from like about an hour from us. After we left that weekend, we stayed in touch for about a month. And we talked every single day, all day. And then he actually came to visit my town that I live. Okay. And he spent the weekend with me here in my house, and that's actually when I got pregnant.
All right.
A few days after that, actually, we just, things kind of just fell out. Like, he decided he just wasn't interested in me. He didn't, like something I said, and just quickly, like, flipped on me.
Okay.
I found out I was pregnant probably like shortly, like a few weeks after that. So not long ago actually. And when I first let him know, like he was keeping the communication open because he didn't know if I was pregnant or not. Like I was kind of worried about it. So he didn't cut communication with me.
Okay.
Right away. But as soon as he found out I was pregnant, he was calling me a liar, telling me I was making it up. Saying it wasn't his or it can't be his, blaming me for like not taking birth control appropriately, and then, I mean, we still would talk. On occasion, my family got involved, and like my sister fought with him about it. I showed him pretty much everything that I could to prove that I was pregnant. I showed him pregnancy tests. I showed him doctors, like hospital records. I showed him like an ultrasound, like the photos from the ultrasound. I showed him everything, and I said, you can even come up here and like look at everything. And he still was like calling me a liar. He, I think, finally like believed it. Like he finally like was like, okay, she really is pregnant. But he still is like, I think, on the fence of if it's his or not, which is stupid because I spent so much time with him, and he spent like the whole time with me. He ended up telling his family that I was pregnant, and right after he blocked me on everything. He blocked me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, everything, even the phone. So I was not able to get a hold of him at all. I was really stupid, and I decided to like use other people's phones. I tried email. I tried to like get apps on my phone even that would like create other numbers to get a hold of him, which is insane. But I was that like desperate and that upset that he would do that to me that I was willing to do anything to get a hold of him. And he ended up he ended up not blocking one of the numbers, and he was still talking to me about it, but he still, I think, is like very much in denial.
Yes.
He's never asked me how I'm feeling. He's never asked how the baby was. Like if I don't say anything, which I haven't, like he does not speak to me.
Wow, he does sound very much in denial. He does, and he also sounds like a coward as well. At first with him not believing your pregnancy, that was a huge part of denial. And then with him, now blocking you on everything, he is trying to run away from the responsibility. He's scared.
Like when I would contact him, he would lie to me and say, well, I just got a job driving a semi. I can't be on my phone. And I'm like, you don't drive a semi 24/7. Like, he would come up with lies, like excuses not to answer my questions or not to contact me. So I just gave up because I was putting in so much effort that it was stressing me out so bad. And the fact that I don't put in effort means we don't talk. So.
Well, I mean, it's not really for you to be putting in any effort. He should be putting in the effort. You're the one who's carrying his child. And so far, he's not dealt with it appropriately. He's given you a lot of mixed messages, and it must be confusing and frustrating. You must be really stressed out by all of this. His behavior is immature. And
it's very confusing because one minute he will be like, I think the last thing he said to me was, can you just let me work, and when it gets closer we will talk. If I lose my license because you text me, I'm going to be really pissed off, or something like that.
What has he said about being involved in his child's life? Has he mentioned where he stands as a father, what he's going to do, as in terms of responsibility wise?
Honestly, he was so against it. Like, he pushed abortion so bad. And that went on for weeks, I think, for 3 weeks or something. And I know he does not want a child. Like, he does not. And he's made that very clear to me. But he said that he's like, oh, well, if the test comes back mine, then I'll deal with it then, or something like that. Like, he said things like, and he used to live with friends. He moved back home with his parents. And now he's, I guess he's driving a semi. I don't know if this is true or not because I don't have any proof. But apparently he went and got a better job. But, so I don't know if he's doing, and he claims that one of the things he said to me was, I'm working 12, 13 hours a day or something like that, so I can have money for myself, so that when this actually happens, I can do it on my own. But then I'll get a mixed signal where he's like, I don't want to talk to you. It's not stable. I can't trust that he's going to be a father. I have no idea.
I mean, I'm a bit confused myself. So is he requesting a paternity test?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he will. Because he said flat out, I don't know if it's mine, I'm going to take a test or something like that. And I said, I don't have a problem doing one because I know it's yours. So.
And then on the other hand, he's telling you that he's working so hard so that you don't have to do things on your own.
Yeah, and he also was saying things like, I don't want you to have this baby because you don't deserve to be, because this is when he was pushing the abortion. He's like, I just don't want you to have this baby, one, because you don't deserve to do it by yourself. So, he'll say things like, he acknowledges that it's his, but then he'll be in denial 2 seconds later. So I don't ever really know what he's feeling or what he's thinking.
He's probably feeling fear. He's behaving quite immaturely, to be honest, with all these mixed messages. And 1 minute, I'm sure when he says things that make you feel like, oh, he is coming around to things, he believes he's the father, and then he says something else which just sends you completely off track, and you're thinking, well, what now? So I think the best thing that you can do is to stop reaching out to him. Like you said, if you don't make any contact, then he doesn't bother. So there's no point in you trying to force him or push yourself on him or try to get his interest. That should come naturally. You are pregnant with his child. So if he can't make the time to talk to you, if, he's coming up with excuses of driving on his job. I mean, if it is true, then he can at least try and find some time, in the evenings when he's finished work to call you and see if you're okay or whatnot. But the fact that he seems to always be coming up with excuse after excuse, as to why he can't, be in contact with you or have a conversation with you, it does say a lot. And also the confusion surrounding everything, the things that he says and then his actions are not matching up with them as well. So I think the best thing you can do is begin to prepare to become a single mother for yourself. I mean, you're still quite early in your pregnancy. A lot can change, but it's good for you to begin to become independent and just, rely on yourself at this moment in time, and take him out of the picture for a minute, because he is not someone that you can, like you said, rely on or trust to be there because of what he's doing right now. So I definitely say to stop stressing yourself out with trying to get him involved, because that in itself, it's a chase. You constantly think, well, should I give up because he's obviously not getting the message, or he's making things hard for me and just stressing me out. And then 10 minutes later you're feeling a bit calmer and you're thinking, let me just try one more time to try and speak some sense into him. And then you get a totally different response from him, and then you get off the line feeling okay, and then the next day it's something different. You don't want to spend the whole of your pregnancy doing this, going round in circles, because that could very well be the case, that until the baby is born, that it's just so much drama, and you don't need that.
Because I know if I haven't spoke to him, and when I don't speak to him, we don't speak. That's what it is. And so that lets me know, he doesn't care.
Yes.
But my concern is, I know for a fact he's not going to want that image of, oh, I'm a deadbeat dad. He's not going to want people to know that. He's not going to want to, I don't know, once the baby's born, if he's actually going to be that. I have no idea, but I know that don't think it's fair to me that he's been if he's absent pretty much the entire pregnancy. Why do they deserve to come back once the baby's born? I don't get that. I guess once I'm totally fine and I've moved on with my life and I'm doing great, why do they get to come back around once the baby's born after I've done all the work? You know what I mean?
Now, I understand what you mean. I mean, he should be there throughout your pregnancy to support you. But as in terms of coming back, that is just for them to be involved in their child's life once the child has arrived. And I do understand that for many single mothers, it feels like you're almost inviting him, the ex, back into your life when the child is still, a baby, because obviously they have to come into your life to be in the baby's life. Not all mothers feel comfortable with, sending their newborn babies out with their fathers straight away. And some fathers will say, I'll take the baby after a few months. So it's best that I just come round to the house and do my visits there. So, what is the status of your relationship right now? Are things over between you, or?
Yeah, we only knew each other for a month before I got pregnant, and there were feelings there between both of us, but he got upset over something that I did, and he's also very non-forgiving type of person. He is basically he thinks I'm a bad person. I didn't do anything, I didn't go talk to other people, but we weren't even in a relationship. But he got mad because I was married a few years ago for 90 days or something. It was very short-lived, and I was really young, and it was something that happened in my life, and I didn't tell him right away, and he got upset with me thinking that I lied about it. So then he just went crazy on me and said I'm a bad person. I didn't tell him up front. I wasn't up front with him. I lied to him, whatever. And then he decided that he called it off, basically. And then I found out I was pregnant after.
Okay. Wow, so things were very much still very fresh when you fell pregnant.
And I think they still are, and it's really hard for me to, because I had a lot of feelings for this guy. We were really great together, and so I seen I didn't want to say this prematurely, but I I thought I seen a future with him. Like, I just felt differently about him, and it was, I thought he was a great guy at the time. And so when I found out I was pregnant, I was still getting over, like, this, like, ending of whatever it was. And so that, I think, has made it harder, because it's like being pregnant and thinking about him still all the time does not let me move on as quickly.
I think the reason why things are so much harder for you is because things are very, very fresh. You're still in that falling in love stage. It's been a month. Well, so far, all in all, how long has it been? I'm sure it's been more than a month that things have been going on like this now.
Oh, no. So, like, because we only seen each other for a month, and then I got pregnant, and then it's already been, like, almost 3. So,
okay.
Like, it's been, like, 4 months since I've known him.
Wow. So, yeah. So, because things are very, very fresh, because you don't really know him, this is why it's so hard for you to understand his actions and his behavior. Because you've not really seen him in this light before. You don't really know his character or mood swings 100%. There's so much more behind this man that you just don't know yet. So this is why everything is so hard for you at this moment in time. I do think that the best thing that for you to do to move forward is to really get on with your life and move forward. You need to forget about him for now. If he decides to come back into your life or into his child's life, then great. If he reaches out to see how you are and how your pregnancy is going, then that's great. If he wants to be supportive at a later date when he is less scared, or when he believes, because maybe he has doubts that he is the father because it's only been such a short amount of time. So, maybe if he wants to do a paternity test and then he's 100% sure and he wants to be involved, then great. But for now, I'd say don't don't have any expectations. Don't set your hopes on him too high. And I would say to become independent, rely on yourself, believe in yourself that you can do this if this is something that you really want to do, because it's life changing becoming a single mother. And I think that you need to most definitely not take on things that you don't really know, as in this man. Don't take on trying to figure out what he's thinking or what he's feeling, because that could be anything at this stage, and you haven't been in other scenarios with him on this level to be able to judge the state of mind that he's in. So you don't know if this situation of him could go left or right, and that's why you're feeling very, very confused. But
because it's like, he's like, I don't know if he knows, like, so his sister, like, reached out to me and was like, I think he's just scared, like, he doesn't know how to act, so that's why he doesn't. And I said, I think that's kind of crap, because, like, he could at least ask me, like, what's going on, or, like, he could still communicate with me, but he does not even, if I don't talk to him, he will not talk to me. So, like, pretty much but I don't think he wants to be, like, a deadbeat. I don't know, like, but that's basically what it is. I mean, he clearly told me to have an abortion. He didn't want, at first he said he's not going to be involved, and then he says he is, then he says he isn't, and it's like, you're right, it's back and forth constantly.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I can't do it anymore. I'm to the point where it's like I cried every single night.
Yeah, it's draining. You don't need all of that. It is definitely draining. Don't go around in circles with this man. Don't do it. If he doesn't want to deal with being confrontational, then that's his problem. It seems like he does have a lot of growing up to do around the situation, but at the same time, like I said, it sounds like maybe he could have doubts about being the father. He could be, even though I know you said that around those dates you two were together, but I think it's because of the length of time that you guys were together. Maybe he just is a bit unsure, he can't believe it. And I'm not saying it's right, of course not. He should definitely be more supportive towards you. He should definitely reach out to you to see how you are. but I think that maybe he's got some concerns surrounding your pregnancy about maybe him being the father, or he could just be scared, like I said, and has a lot of growing up to do.
I
Especially as
think
things
so
have.
because he was kind of like the funny one, I guess you would say, like in his friends and family, and like he never has had like responsibility per se. Like he really wasn't the responsible type of person. And he drank a lot and like partied with friends and stuff. And so, like, I just don't think that he can maturely like comprehend what's going on right now. I don't know.
Well, that's his loss. It's a shame that he is in this situation, but I would say you need to not waste any more of your time trying to figure him out or trying to understand where his head is at or worrying about what he's doing. Seriously, because you might spend, months being stressed out about this, and it's longer than you've even known him. So
Right. I know.
yeah, so the best thing you need to do for yourself right now is focus on yourself. If you're planning to move on with your pregnancy and have your baby, there are so many things that you're going to need to get ready and prepared for, especially with being a single mother. You're going to need to build your support network. You have got so many other things to get on with. So I really do advise you to do that and not try to figure out someone who you really don't know, because it's just going to keep hurting you.
Right.
And you don't need
I
that right
agree.
now. You need to stay positive. You need to be strong, and you need to prepare yourself for the months ahead, because you're not going to be alone anymore soon. And
I know.
you need to get ready for all the challenges that single mothers face. But you'll be fine. You'll be okay. You just need to get rid of this stress in your life right now, and that is him.
Yeah, it is.
That is him. So I'm sorry that you found yourself in this unfortunate situation, but I do think that there are things that you can learn from this experience. I know it's lovely when we just meet someone and we feel like, oh, we've got this great connection, and they sweep you off your feet and say and do all the right things, and you feel like, oh, this person could be the one. Despite how long you've known them, I do understand how that feels, but there is a major lesson that you can learn from this, and that is to take your time in getting to know somebody properly. And it's also, that we need to, women, I'm speaking to women on a whole here, because you're not the first and last woman to get herself in this situation. But no matter how strongly we might feel for someone and, get carried away in the moment, we do need to protect ourselves, because we can find ourselves in these situations so easily, just becoming a single mother, pregnant for a man who we don't really know. So we don't really know if, when he leaves, we don't know if he's coming back, and that can really play on your mind for years. And, if you know somebody, you have a better judgment, like, oh, well, I know that this person, they're only going to be able to keep up with this act for so-and-so such long, or, well, we've been in this situation before, so maybe in the next few weeks he'll calm down like the last time. But when you don't know somebody, it's so much harder to understand their actions and what they're thinking and how they're likely to react to certain situations, like, pregnancy. So I do really, really wish you all the best of luck with your journey ahead. I mean, you're still very much, you're still early, you're 12 weeks, so a lot can change between now and your due date. So many things can change for you, and I really hope they do. I hope they turn around in such a positive light. And even if, you don't work anything out with the father of your child, I hope that you're able to set yourself up in a way where you're ready to raise your child alone, and you're feeling positive about it, you feel strong about it, and not worried or still focusing on the father of your child. I really do hope that you're able to move forward from this and learn from the experience. Have you got yourself a copy of my book, Abandoned Pregnant?
No, I don't. Yeah, I have to order it.
Yeah, you definitely do. My
I
book will
will.
help you to get through the months ahead and definitely give you some positive guidance. Um, but I do hope that you're able to. I mean, do you have a support network around you? Do you have family or friends who can?
I do. I have a lot of family. My friends like knew him, and um, they were not happy with the situation. They were actually like his friends and my friends actually were very combative for a little
Mm-hmm.
bit because of the situation. And but now I think like sometimes I don't want to be around people right now, and I don't know if that's normal. Like sometimes I just don't want to talk about it, or like I don't want to hear like I know he's not what he's doing is wrong, and I know that other people are also angry, but it's like I don't want to hear it from other people. Do you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like I don't want to hear my family talk about how he's like a deadbeat. Like I know he is, but I think it's because I just want to like pretend it's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes the
So
truth hurts, isn't it? But
yeah, it does.
yeah.
So it's like I know that it's the truth, but I don't like hearing it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard.
You've got to face the truth. It's the only way forward. I'm telling you. You don't want to be in denial just like he is.
Right, I know.
Don't do that to yourself. I mean, his actions speak volumes.
I know. Like even if he would just like, he can't even ask me how I'm doing. Like he can't ask about his baby. Like it's crazy to me that he would block me on everything to the point where I had no contact with him. And I'm surprised I don't know what made him change his mind and not block me this last time. I don't know, like if he's coming around to the idea. But I know even if he has came around to the idea, I could go months and months and months and we wouldn't talk. I almost guarantee it. Like that's the type of like conversation that we had last was that he would rather just me like he's like basically let me work and I'll talk to you when it's closer. I don't even know if he was going to be there for the birth. Like he wouldn't answer me on that. He wouldn't answer me on pretty much anything. Like he just didn't want to talk about it. And in the very beginning, he wouldn't even talk to me because basically he said he didn't want to see my name on his phone.
Yeah, he definitely sounds very immature.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, you don't need to be dealing with that at all. You really don't. That would absolutely drive me around the bend. I don't think you should entertain that kind of behavior unless it's about your baby. Then just don't deal with it. You know, unless he's got anything positive to say about what he's going to do in terms of his involvement in his child's life, then I'd say you need to just stay focused on you. I mean, when you're reaching out to him and you're messaging him or calling him, however it is you're making contact, what are you talking to him about?
Well, usually it's only about the baby. Like I haven't said anything about like trying to be with him, or I have not said anything about like getting, back together. I mean, we weren't together, but like working it out or anything like super detailed. I'm really just like informing him about the appointments. I asked about like names. I was like, hey, do you want to like help me pick out a name, or like do you want to think about it? Like he basically, when we first spoke about some of the more like detailed things, like are you going to be there for the birth? Because if he's not going to talk to me for months and months, like I just want to know. Do you want me to let you know? Which is stupid for me to even ask those questions because that's like making me look foolish, I think. But at the time, I just was in denial that he was in denial. So he's like, no, I don't want to help pick out a name. I don't want this. Blah, blah, blah. That's what he first said. And then, like, a few weeks later, I think I asked again. And he was like, I asked about a name, and he's like, I'm not a fan of that. And I was like, okay, well, can you think about names and let me know? And he said, okay. So it's stupid. Like, if I reach out to him, it's very, like, I don't get much back. So it's like I'm forcing it. And to me, I'm starting to look almost like desperate or dumb. And I'm getting to the point where I can't do this anymore because it's like I know that he does not care. Because if he did, he would be reaching out to me. Yeah. And I don't. Like, he's willing to go the entire pregnancy without talking to me. And all of a sudden he wants to be, like, know what's up in the end. And I don't even know if I should let him know when I have the baby. Like, if he really doesn't care and would rather not talk to me, then why tell him, I guess. I don't know. It's like, he knows when I'm due. If he doesn't ask me, do I tell him?
I mean, I would say updated? For now, because you're only 12 weeks into your pregnancy, just, like I said, focus on you and see how things go. See if he reaches out to you. See if he will make the effort to contact you, because like you already know, if he is interested, he will make the effort. You know, you are the one who has been doing all the texting and keeping him updated, and, you know, like you said, if you don't make any contact with him, then he won't be in contact with you, not even to see how you're doing.
Right.
He should be. Yes, you have something for him. You don't, you know, you have his baby. He doesn't have anything for you. So it's not really for you to be texting him and, you know, keeping him updated. He should want to be updated with the part of him that's inside of you, if he really cared. You know, and also it's very hard after a month. I'm going to be honest with you. It might not sound nice at all, and I don't mean any offense at all. I just want to try and help you understand a bit. But because of, you know, because it's been such a short amount of time, it's easy for him to walk away. It's a lot easier for him to walk away than if he had known you for a longer amount of time. I mean, really known you as well. You know, so it's not that hard for him to do right now. And it's, when you're messaging him all the time and stuff like that, it's making it even easier for him as well, because he's seeing it. You know, when you said to me that he said, oh, I don't want this and stuff like that, you know, it's like he almost wants to run away from the situation and the problem. So I'd say to you, don't chase him. Stop doing that. Definitely begin to try and accept that, you know what, I'm about to become a single mother and I'm going to need this, that and that. And like you said, well, you did say that you've got support around you. The people who love... Sorry?
I honestly think that he's doing like this, like, he's trying, and he's basically being fake about not, like, he doesn't want to give me real answers because I think he's afraid of going to court. Like, he's even said that to me. He's like, we can take care of this outside of court. So, like, I'm just like, well, I guess what I don't understand is that he's in such denial that it's his. How come he moved back home? How come he got a new job? How come he didn't block me? How come he's so concerned that I'm going to take him to court and he's going to have to pay child support, which he's going to have to? But, like,
okay, so maybe that's is that his real concern, the child support?
I think so. Yeah, I do. I think he does not want to go to court. I don't know if it's the money or if it's just, like, the legal process in general. Like, he does not want to do it. Like, he said, like, we can deal with it outside of court. Like, we don't have to make it worse than it already is what he said.
Well, I mean, couldn't you do that? You don't really have to. I mean, if he's willing to provide and contribute, then...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm willing to do that. But, like, if he's, like, inconsistent, I guess, is when, like, because here, I don't know how it is over there in Europe, but, like, here, it's, like, pretty easy. And it's just, like, it makes things, like, more black and white instead of, like, there's gray areas and stuff, so he can't just, like, support the baby for, like, a month and then not do it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, like, but I'm not going to take him to court, like, just right away, but I want to see what he's going to do. But if he's going to completely go MIA on me after the baby's born, then I probably would. I don't know. I really don't know yet. Like you said, it's really early.
Yes, yeah.
That's a concern of his. Like, I think that he doesn't want to cut contact with me completely. He thinks I'm going to keep contacting him so that it won't be cut. But I'm going to listen to your advice, and I'm not going to talk to him because I think you're right. I think it just pushes him away.
Yes, I mean, if he reaches out to you and you feel like you want to respond, then okay. But when it comes to you having to basically chase him, don't do it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll feel better. After, at first it might seem hard because you're so used to doing that, trying to get his attention and stuff and trying to get him interested. But you'll get used to it and you'll be fine. And you never know what will happen down the line as well. He might do a complete 360, or you might just end up being the one who's not interested in him in the end. Life is funny. You just never know what can happen. But I say that if you focus on yourself, then good things will happen. So definitely begin to do that. You've got support around you. Use that to help you along the way. Keep yourself busy and love yourself. Be kind to yourself as well. Don't sit there and, we all have our moments. So I know you probably might sit there one day and feel like, oh my gosh, what have I done? This was so unexpected and unplanned, and just don't feel like you've made this major huge mistake and you can't recover from it or pick your life up and move on from this, because you can. And like I said, you will learn from this. This is definitely an experience that is a lesson for you, and it will make you stronger in the long run.
Right.
So, I mean, how are you feeling right now? Do you feel like everything that's happened has changed you?
I think that it's definitely, I'm getting to the point where, like, at first, I didn't think anything could nothing could move on. Like, I couldn't move on. Life couldn't move on. Like, I couldn't find happiness. I'm starting to, hang out with my friends again. I'm starting to, not think about it constantly when I'm working. I'm kind of getting back to somewhat normal, as far as, not letting his, abandonment, I guess you would say, affect me as much. But it's always at night when I'm alone that I have my moments where I'm, emotional. But I think that I'm still kind of in the stage where I'm like, how could he have done this to me?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's getting where we talk less and less, and now we haven't talked for a little bit. So it went from me trying to contact him almost every day to nothing now. So I think that to me tells me that I'm getting stronger.
Yes.
Just as time goes by.
Definitely. I mean, you've got to love yourself. If you're the one doing all the work trying to get his attention and you're not getting anything back, it's going to ruin your self-esteem eventually and your confidence. So, yeah, don't do it. Like I said, you've got something for him. You've got a baby for him, and it might not be something that he wants, but he should definitely care. And if he's not showing any interest, then I say you definitely got to show that interest into yourself. Put that into yourself. Take all that worry and all the stress and everything that you're doing towards him, trying to get to a conclusion and a solution, and put it on yourself. Make yourself happy. I think you need to definitely change your environment for a little while and take yourself out of this cloud that he's put over your head, because the amount of things that he's doing and the behavior that he's displaying, it's probably causing you a lot of emotions that you don't even realize for yourself, like anxiety. You must be so anxious because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what he's thinking. You don't know what he's going to do next. You don't know if he's going to reach out. You must be always checking your phone, or anytime you get a text, you might be thinking or hoping that it's him. Don't do it. Don't do that to yourself. You need to just come into terms of acceptance and say, right, this is what it is. I am deciding that I am not going to allow myself to, be treated like this by him. And I say that if he says that when the baby comes, if he wants to do a paternity test, and by all means, then I'd say if it's gonna come bring you guys to a solution, then do that. And I hope that things will work out, in the best way for all three of you, even if you're not together, and even if you two don't ever have anything to do with each other in that way again. I hope that things can be positive for your baby, and even if it's just you as a single mother, I hope that you're able to see this as something that you can learn and grow from. I mean, do you feel like there's anything that you've learned from this experience so far?
I've definitely learned that that happiness will come back. I mean, I've learned that I can't trust just anybody out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
My trust is definitely different with people, I think.
Yes, yeah.
I also learned, that people can be, you can see somebody in a certain way, but until you see them in, a situation like chaos,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really see their true colors.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I bet if you see any signs of anything like that again, you will run.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yes, sometimes you've got to laugh about things like this, otherwise you will just cry. So hold it all together. You sound like you are very strong anyway, and I'm sorry that this has happened to you, and I'm sorry you didn't get the outcome that you wanted with this man, but he wasn't the one, and I think that
wanted the family. I think that's what I'm still, upset about, is that he, basically broke that for me. I didn't really necessarily want the family with him right away, but after you get pregnant, it's I'm sure that's natural to want that, and he ruined that, and so I'm very angry about that. It's towards him, I'm angry that I can't have that with this baby because he decided he wanted to just go MIA on me.
Well, I understand. Unfortunately, that's one of the things that can happen with unplanned pregnancies, and when we fall pregnant for someone who we don't really know, we don't know what they're capable of. We don't really know what they want, even though they're saying they want this or they want that. At that point we can't really believe words, but that all comes under learning as well. I know you fell in love. You fell in what you thought was real love quite quickly, and I get all of that. I understand that, but I do feel like a lot of this has to do with you two not really knowing each other properly. But that does not, and it should not affect the way that he, him being involved in his child's life, basically.
Right.
He is a father at the end of the day, and he should do the right thing, regardless of how long you two have known each other, or if it worked out or if it didn't, or if he thinks you're a bad person or not. That doesn't make his baby a bad person. So,
right.
He should do the right thing as a man and a father, and I hope down the line that he does. But if he doesn't, then it's his loss, and he might not see that now, but he will realize that in the future when he's sitting there with his regrets. So I'd say for now, don't reach out. Do things about you. Do things that make you feel good. Do things to help boost your self-esteem and your confidence again, that is going to make you feel even stronger to continue not reaching out.
Right. Do they ever, during the pregnancy, have men ever, especially if I don't talk to him, will he, get, can they even stand themselves at some point? I mean, do they, get to a point where they're why have I not heard from her for so long? What the heck's going on? How can they even live with themselves is my question. How can they go months or years without, reaching out to the mother of their children, or possibly the mother of their children? Even if, he didn't know, wouldn't that bother somebody?
Well, I think it depends on the type of man, but I know that the majority of them, at first, they're finding, the woman a nuisance because she won't go away. And then when she finally does, they're like, huh, what's going on? So some of them might test the waters and send a few messages just to see what's happening, because at this point their egos are being deflated because they're so used to this woman chasing after them, wanting their attention. And even though she's a nuisance at that time, when she does disappear, they feel like, whoa, what's going on, and they miss that attention. But for some of them, it's a huge relief, like, oh, yeah, she's gone. I don't have to be responsible for this child anymore, and I don't have to do this anymore. And for some guys, yeah, they really just don't care. So it depends on the man, really, but I think that ultimately the result is the same. They still manage to get out of the responsibilities that they're trying to run away from. He's blocked you on other platforms but hasn't blocked you over your work phone. That's just ridiculous, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's weird because because I didn't use my work phone to contact him until probably 2 months later. That's when that was my last resort type of thing, that I was stupid and did. I was like, okay, well, this is my last thing that I can use. He actually didn't block me on that, surprisingly.
But I definitely think that there are things on social media that he doesn't want you to see, hence the blocking, or maybe he doesn't want other people finding out about you on his social media page.
He also didn't want to see my name. He had told me flat out, he's like, I don't want to see your name.
Wow. I mean, yeah, don't reach out to a man who's speaking to you like that. He doesn't want to see your name?
No, I think this was right after he decided he didn't want to be with me or see me anymore because he got upset with me. It was almost like a breakup to him. That's the way he was acting. He said he told his parents, and or he said this, I'm telling my parents this weekend, I don't want to talk to you until Tuesday. I don't want to see your name on my phone. He said to me on several occasions, he didn't, he's blocked me because he didn't want to see my name.
Yeah, that's really immature behavior, to be honest.
I know that hurt me. I think more than anything was the fact that he was so angry with me that he couldn't even be around to support me during at least this. I said, we don't have to be together, but it's wrong for you to be doing this. And it hurt so bad. It was such a jab to hear him say things like, I don't want to see your name on my phone.
Wow.
Just looking at my name made him upset. My friend posted a joke about a deadbeat baby daddy where it's a Halloween costume. It was just a stroller and the hat and a coffee, and but there was no person. It was just against the wall, and it said, I'm going to be your baby daddy for Halloween, absent. And she tagged me in it, and he's seen that because he unfriended her because they were friends on Facebook.
Okay.
And as soon as she posted that, they weren't friends anymore. So he's seen that and got so offended that he had to unfriend her. Oh, he's so immature. It's so bad.
Yes, no, most definitely. I'd say with everything that he's doing, definitely take your attention off him. Don't bother reaching out to him anymore. I mean, he said that he doesn't even want to see your name. It's immature behavior, really. You've done the best that you can do, and I think you've done beyond more than what you need to do. If he really is interested, he will show that he is. If he's waiting for the baby to be born to be able to do a paternity test, then, I'd say, yeah, it would be great if you guys can do that. And he would, he does what he's supposed to do as a father once he is 100% sure that he is the father. But I do think that he's just saying that as an excuse, to be honest, because he is a coward. He definitely sounds like one with everything that he's doing.
So basically, and then another thing that I tried to talk to him about was my job. I was going to relocate for my job, and basically it was due to the fact that I travel for work, and I can't really afford to do that because I can't have somebody, like I couldn't afford somebody to watch the baby for like a week on end. So like there were some issues with like my job, and so I guess maybe that was part of the reason I was pushing so hard to get answers. Like, are you gonna be around? Are you gonna be in the baby's life? Like, because I couldn't move. Like, I was offered a job in Virginia, and it was a great job, and I had like 90 days to give them an answer. And I don't want to hinder my life because of some guy that potentially is going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, don't you dare do that in any decision that you need to make for yourself.
Like, I don't, like, if I move away, like, that's, like, what does that mean? Those are the questions that are, like, giving me anxiety, because he can't ever give me an answer, and he's shown me that he doesn't care. So everyone is like, no, you need to do what you want to do.
Yes.
You need to go and move, and you need to take this job. Don't let his hesitation keep you from doing that. And I know that, but it's so hard, because it's like, I just want an answer. Like, I want him to say, like, no, I'm not going to be around. So
no, don't wait on an answer. Do not wait. You give yourself an answer. Do you want to take this job or not? Don't let him and his decisions dictate what you do with your life, because he doesn't care about what you're going to do with your life. He doesn't even care about the life that you're carrying that is half his at this moment. Don't do it, because I'm telling you, if you want that job and you don't take that job and it's not going to be because of him. I'm telling you straight up, it's going to be because of you, because you allowed you allowed him and his actions to hold you back. Don't you dare worry about what he's doing, or you've got to see yourself as a single mother and doing things without him. He's going to make decisions without you. He's making decisions without you every day. He's made the decision to not contact you unless you contact him. You know, he's not looking to you for anything in his life. No support, no advice, no guidance, none of that. So you definitely shouldn't be looking for any kind of validation in your life from him. No way.
Right. Like, I've already told him about it, and I didn't get anything. So now I think it's just time for me to, like, pick it up and move on and do what I need to do, because, like, I guarantee you, like, I will completely regret it.
That's what you're looking for in a way. You're kind of looking for closure. You want to hear him say, this is what it is. And then you can feel like, oh, well, at least I know what it is now. So, but that's not going to help you, Valerie. I do understand what you are looking for. You want to hear it from him because it's going to make you feel, you think it's going to make you feel better. But
I do. I feel like he's already given me that answer. So I don't know why I keep looking. My friends and family keep saying, he's already flat out told you he doesn't want this. He's flat out told you everything. You are just waiting for him to change or him to come around, and it's not. They keep saying it's not going to happen.
And it's not just that, it's the mixed messages that you're getting from him as well, because he is such a coward. He can't be open and honest with you about how he's really feeling, but his actions are speaking for him. You know, he is showing what he's feeling and what he really thinks through his actions. And everybody seems to be saying the same thing about this guy. But I do totally understand where you're coming from. I've been there myself, when you just want to hear something from a man and you think that, okay, once I hear it from his mouth, then I'll feel a lot better. But a lot of the time, us women already know it. Our intuitions have already told us, but we go against them and we think that, oh no, we could be wrong, still holding on to some kind of hope that, you know, there might be some kind of other answer for the things that we're coming up with. But a lot of the times we already know the answers. We already know what it is. We feel it. It's our woman's intuition. So I say, don't doubt yourself about what you feel, that you know how he feels and thinks about you. And don't allow anyone, you know, to dictate where you go in your life. You know, don't put him on a pedestal at all. He doesn't deserve it. Don't you dare consider his feelings or his concerns or his interest in your life. Don't tell him what's going on in your life. All he needs to know about is what's going on in his baby's life, and that's if he's interested. But for now, I'd say you need to definitely break yourself away from this man. Break yourself away from him. He's no good for you at this moment in time. He's not helping your situation. He's making you stressed. He's giving you anxiety. He's making you feel confused. You're unsure about a lot of things that's happening. And you've got a lot of planning to do. The last thing you need right now is to have your head feeling all confused, and it's a time of planning and preparing for you. This is a time, this is the next 3 months of your life is going to be full of preparation, and
it is.
Yeah, so you don't need all of this. You really don't.
No, I agree.
I understand how badly you wanted your family unit and how much this has hurt you, but I think that maybe you should sit down, one night with, I don't know if you write, but I find that writing really does help getting things off my chest. And I think the first thing that you could do to really help you move on is to actually look within yourself first and say, right, where did I go wrong in this? Where was my part to, what role did I play in the result of this? And then accept, like, okay, maybe I moved into this relationship too quickly. I didn't really know this man, And I think that once you come to those things, then you'll be able to get through the others, and you'll be able to slowly work out, okay, yeah, he's acting like this because, the reason why I feel like I can't understand him is because, I don't really know him. You'll feel better, and you'll realize that the answers are already in you. You don't really need to wait to hear him say, oh, well, this is how I'm feeling about you and the baby. You don't need that. You can come to your own conclusion. And you know what? It might be hurtful, and you might even discover some things about yourself that you don't like. But guess what? None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. But what matters is how we move on from them. So I don't want you to even worry about anyone judging you, or don't worry about a thing. At this moment in time, you need to worry about yourself and your well-being, and, everything that you've been going through for the past, 3 months now, 4 months now, it's bound.
3 months.
Yeah, it's bound to take a toll on you. It really is. It's bound to drain you.
It's drained my energy. I couldn't eat. I couldn't think. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat for a good few weeks. It took me a while. I was like, how could somebody do this to me? He's so evil. I kept giving him so much attention and energy that I could not do anything. I could hardly even work. That's how bad it was. And I've gotten to the point where I'm still wanting to hear from him. I'm hoping that he will change. But I think some of that also has to do with the whole feelings thing. I honestly think I dragged my own moving on out, because by contacting him, I was not able to move on.
Yes, exactly.
And that's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, you need to just see yourself as what you are at this moment in time. Well, what you're about to become. You're a mum to be. You're about to become a single mother. And like I said, there's so many things. I've got a book called Bored Single. It's for lonely single mothers. After you read Abandoned Pregnant, maybe, when your baby's in toddler years, you can read that. But for now, work on yourself. Work on improving yourself. Work on learning from the lessons to make you better. It's all about self-improvement right now. And in the future, somebody better will come along. You will attract a better man, but he isn't it. So that's another thing that you need to accept as well, that this relationship between you and this man, it's over. You don't need to be with, even if he wanted to come back into your life, is that the type of man that you really want? Who would just block you and say horrible things like, I didn't even want to see your name, and behave immaturely and stuff like that. No, it's not. We've only got one life, and we don't need to spend it with people who don't really want us, or who feel like they're forced to be with us because of a child being involved, or who are just being fake. Or, I say, visualize yourself in the future. Well, you've got so much ahead of you right now that's coming up. Sometimes you're going to be happy, and it's going to be times of joy, and sometimes you're going to go through times of challenges and struggles. Those are just things that single mothers go through every day. But you also have to see yourself in the future as not just being a single mother, but with someone who, as a person, as a woman, with goals, with wishes of finding true love, stuff like that. But there's so much that we have to learn along the way before we can actually get to what it is that we truly desire. And we have to become certain people before we can attract certain things that we want into our lives. And I'd say learn from this experience and just prepare to better yourself for the next relationship that will come in years to come. But well, not in years to come, but you know what I mean. Right now, you're preparing yourself to be a mom, and you're going to have other responsibilities, and your priorities are definitely not on getting into a new relationship, but definitely make self-improvement a priority, especially before your baby comes. You still got, quite a few months ahead of you, so you can boost yourself up. You can get yourself to where you need to be emotionally and mentally just in time before your baby comes. You can do it. It's possible. But you've just got to put the work in. You've got to really work on yourself.
Right. And I agree with you.
It's so easy to sit down. You've got quite a few months left. You could easily spend them just doing this, talking about the situation. It's so easy to do that. I did my first pregnancy, the whole 9 months, all I did was talk about my ex angrily. That's all I did. It's so easy for you to do that. And you miss the whole pregnancy. And then years down the line, you think, what was I doing? That was so stupid. You regret it. And then you're angry with yourself because you think, how can I let a deadbeat or someone who didn't even care make me miss my own experience that was happening right underneath my own nose? It's like you're not even in your own experience because you're so busy, trying to figure out what's going on with the father of your child. So I'd say definitely keep away from all of that drama. You don't need it. You need to move into a more positive light now for yourself. And self-improvement, I say, is definitely key in this for you.
Right. I agree with you. I think so.
Oh, well, no, I really appreciate you sharing your story with me today, Valerie. And I wish you all the best of luck with your situation.
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. I have no problem.
Okay, well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thanks.
Okay, take care. Well, ladies, there you have it. That was Valerie's story. I'd like to thank Valerie for reaching out to me. I think it was very brave of her to share, what's going on with her situation. And I think there is something that we can all learn from Valerie's story. I do wish her the best of luck in her pregnancy and in her new life as becoming a mother. And I really hope that she's able to move forward and get past everything that's happened and realize this is not the end, Valerie. This is just the beginning of something new for you. I hope that Valerie is able to spend some time learning. I do hope that Valerie does purchase my book Abandoned Pregnant, because I'm very sure that there are some things in there which will be able to help her in moving forward. One of the things that I do suggest, if there are any women out there in Valerie's situation who can relate to her story tonight, I'd just like to say one of the major things that stood out to me in this was self-love. And I think it's so important that we as women, especially women who are going through the journey of pregnancy alone, need to practice self-love. This is the most crucial time that a woman can actually love herself, when she's feeling abandoned. And I know it's very hard to do that at a time when people make you feel unloved, but this is something that is very necessary. It's so important. And I've written exactly why in my book. I'd like to wish Valerie the best of luck, and I would like to thank all my listeners for listening. Take care and see you next time.